Joe?
I am rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic episode number. Where in the hell is it? I just had it in front of me.
1663.
Oh,
Huh?
yeah, but what happened? I just had the piece of paper in front of me. 1663.
Never be caught again.
That would be November 18th, 2025. 68 degrees, the record high on this day on two occasions, 1904 and 1941. And it was four below in 1891. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Height in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
Such,
Yes.
before we begin to start the beginning of the start of the show, the only reason I'm here this week is to talk about Play for Patrick. And along those lines, I received a wonderful email last week while I was sitting in the woods. Kenny, I took my son Jack to the Play for Patrick event on Roseville on Saturday. Had him screened, all good. Great event. Volunteers and staff were awesome. The posters. Now, this one would get to me, too. The posters talking about the kids lost and those who had close calls with cardiac events were hard to read. Yeah, indeed. I talked to Mike while I was there. I advised him to put in a liquor bar so the parents could sit there and get loaded while the kids go through the screening. Mike didn't think that was a great idea. Lots of kids, boys and girls, getting screened. It was really making a difference. And good to see. That comes from a guy we all know right there in the building, a friend of ours. And I was relieved that he brought his kid in. I wish everybody, including you, Chris Reavers,
Yes, sir.
would get your kids into one of these Play for Patrick screening events.
I am planning on doing that at some point during the basketball season. I'm absolutely going to be doing
Good.
that.
How does this all fit into Give to the Max?
I'm glad you asked, Joe, because this week in Minnesota is Give to the Max week, and all week long, Garage Logic is supporting our fellow GLer and buddy Mike Schoonover and the Patrick Schoonover Heart Foundation. As many of you GLers are aware, the Schoonover family lost their son Patrick, I believe, 10 years ago today, at the age of 14 during a hockey game due to two undiagnosed heart defects. The Schoonover family has turned that horrific tragedy into truly a remarkable nonprofit that can greatly benefit from our support. The Patrick Schoonover Heart Foundation helps identify heart defects, as Kenny has mentioned a number of times, in kids between the ages of 14 and 24.
Listen to these numbers. They've conducted over 40 events now. Mm-hmm. They've taught 5,893 kids and adults CPR and AED awareness. They've screened 7,110 kids, found 469 with elevated blood pressure. This is why we're on this. They found 376 kids with abnormal electrical or structural heart defects. This is a big passion of mine, and I really want to see GLers step up to the plate this year and give everything you can to the Patrick Schoonover Heart Foundation.
And you might be asking how.
I like to cut to the chase. Who do you write the check to?
Our ask this week is very simple, Joe. If able, just go to garagelogic.com/donate. That's garagelogic.com/donate to make a contribution to the Patrick Schoonover Heart Foundation so they can continue their life-saving and impactful work. garagelogic.com/donate, and Mike and his family are going to match the first $1,096 that we raised this year. And the 96, of course, honors Patrick, as that was his hockey number. Go to garagelogic.com. It's all over the website.
No parent should outlive their kid.
No.
So let's get behind this.
I know a few who have, and they would have preferred not to.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I got my kid checked out. I got you and Sophia, didn't you?
Well, they're still here, so it must have worked.
Yes.
All right, very good. Can we have that reminder tomorrow and the next day? And
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm gonna pound on this one all week long. Yep.
yesterday, if you'd get this ready, Chris, I don't want you to play the whole thing, but I want to hear a bit of a song. that Jesse Valbrecht created. Well, he didn't. Artificial intelligence did for Marjorie Johnson. All right, you don't have to start playing it yet.
Nope. Okay,
I'm not
just going to
ready.
get her queued up here.
Back.
And I said yesterday I think amazed is too strong a word because it was a fairly pedestrian arrangement, but it was very apropos lyrics and the whole deal, and it was
Sharon Jones' voice.
it was fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, a voice that sounds like Sharon
That's true.
Jones.
That is true. Yes.
So I asked yesterday. I said, Jesse, if you're listening, email me and explain this. I mean, how far are we from walking down the street and you're not going to know if the person walking towards you is real or not? I don't like this.
Not far away at all.
Hail the Flashlight King.
Hail you!
I can't believe you played the song. I listened to you guys on my drive home. Gabe and Reavers got it mostly right, except they overestimated how much work I did. Step one. Wait, I'm sorry. Before we read this, I do want to hear a bit of the song. This is what he sent yesterday.
Wait. Before we do that, Chris, are we in legal trouble with this?
I don't believe so.
Not a bit.
Because this is Jesse's creation. And I doubt, as a devoted GLer, he's going to sue us.
I don't think so.
Is the fact that it's Sharon's voice?
It's not her voice. I think he said, I think you'll get to that. I think
All right.
in his note, you'll understand this.
All right.
Down in Robbinsdale where the ovaries glow, little lady with a big red bow, started late but she stole the show. Sweet rose swinging, let the ginger snaps flow. Marjorie, Marjorie, babe that beat, blue ribbons dancing down the stage.
Okay, now you know what we're talking about in case you didn't listen yesterday. It was an AI-generated song.
And you know what I'll do? I believe Jesse would be okay with this. I'll post this as a link with the website
I think
today.
you should.
Yeah.
Okay, Jesse, I can't believe you played the song. I listened to you guys during my drive home. Gabe and Reavers got it mostly right, except they overestimated how much work I did. Step one, I used Chat GPT to write the song lyrics by using this prompt. Write a funky jazz song in the style of the Dap Kings, paying tribute to the life and accomplishments of Marjorie Johnson, the famous baker for Minnesota, and her impact on the Minnesota State Fair. So I typed that in. It did a deep search, pulling all of her publicly available history, and then spit out the lyrics. That all took 12 seconds, and I did not edit it in any way.
Wow.
Step two, I web search for an AI music generator since I've never used one to make music, and picked the first one I found that had a free use option. Step three, pasted the lyrics into the lyrics section, typed style of Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings into the style section, and clicked generate. It created two options in 15 seconds. I listened to both and chose the one you're hearing, then emailed you the link. All told, I am spending more of my own physical time explaining it in this email than it took to deliver what you played on the show.
He's right.
I'll add that a good music person would probably listen to it and say it's crap. I wouldn't necessarily disagree. I wouldn't say it's crap. I would just say it's average.
I thought it was great.
Well, it was interesting as hell. But that good music person would also be able to, with a paid account, to tell it to make the trumpet sound more realistic, or give it more bass, or I need more cowbell, etc. They could make it sound a whole lot better and perhaps get a big contract with a record label to make more of it. I have a lot of thoughts about this tech, and I won't delve into that here. Maybe another time. Good luck in the AI-generated future, Jesse. So that's how he did it. Which comes as no shock to at least one of us on the staff. The
Right.
young kid.
I'm shocked.
He knows how this works.
Where do you stand on this, Joe?
I'm gobsmacked.
It makes him nervous.
I don't know what to think. I don't
I'm
know.
vehemently opposed. I really, truly, honestly do hate it with all the effort that hate takes.
And I told you yesterday I just finished a novel by Michael Conley, The Proving Ground.
Let me help Kenny for just a second. He's referring to not just this particular song. He's talking about the broad scope of what this is going to do to the industry.
Yeah, no, don't take this wrong, Jesse.
Yeah.
It's not you or the song or anything like that. It's the entire concept, everything about AE, putting artists out of work. I just hate it. I really do.
Interrupt you, Joe. Sorry. You didn't
What did I say?
AE.
Hey, what is that AE stuff?
You know what really?
I sound so old.
You know what really spooks me out? The AI Music Awards down the road, or the AI
Totally.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Who's going to get in it?
The thing is, guys, I had this same feeling maybe a year or two ago because Mike Fratelloni spooked me with what he did with your column. And we had a guest on. This was a while ago. And I've come to that. This is just where we're headed.
Well, let's have Deep Thought Corner, should we?
Do we have a button for that?
Why are humans not good enough?
It's not that at all.
Well,
They
what
are.
is it?
It's because
What
this
is it then?
this is cheaper.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you're Acme Music Group, your Acme label company, right? Are you going to spend millions and millions of dollars to put on something on a world tour, hiring staff, hiring roadies, doing all that stuff? Or are you going to choose the much cheaper and alternative and doing all this through computer-generated graphics, and then you're able to make just as much money?
Am I going to go to a concert
Oh, God, yes.
and see what?
You've already seen artists that are no longer with us going on tour, whether it's Tupac, Michael Jackson, name your artist.
Are you guys trying to undermine Krabby tomorrow? Seriously.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I'm sorry, Ken.
We're having, Jay Coles and I are having Dylan Height and Jeff Dayton on tomorrow to discuss this very topic. And you're hitting it out of the ballpark, Chris. You're absolutely right on all accounts. And those are the things we're going to talk about with musicians.
And I think that's why, and I believe Dylan would say this, this is why he got so frustrated.
But it's not just musicians. I mean, I threw this in Tom Bernard's face about 6 months ago. It's voiceover guys. It's actors. This is going to go in. It's already gone into the movies, right?
So all this guy did was issue the command to this program to pay tribute to the life and accomplishments of Marjorie Johnson, the famous baker from Minnesota, and her impact on the state fair. And the computer took it from there.
I just heard from management, evidently, when your contract is up, you're gone. They're going to let you go very gracefully and give you like a 1 month severance.
Did I get a watch or something?
And we're going to be replacing you with AI Joe,
Okay.
A 1 month severance.
AIJ.
Good luck with that, Joe. And
So I assumed, Kenny, in that scenario, then management would decide to split that salary between the rest of the staff.
No,
right?
you know what would be really easy? And I hope, Dan, you're listening right now. Replacing me as a traffic guy for AI. I guarantee you there's a program out there that can take all the traffic that's happening and issue a 30-second report. I guarantee you.
If I was a high school kid heading for college, I'd be picking careers that AI couldn't do.
Well, right. Fixing cars, laying pipe,
We've been talking about this
running
forever.
running electrical. Yeah.
And
yeah.
but the other side of this though is because I have a 10 soon to be 11-year-old, he's all in on this. And he's already become really good at doing this.
Well, 10 years from now, you call Acme Electric Company and a self-driving vehicle shows up, 2 robots get out of it, and they go to your electric panel and they fix your electric problem.
I don't know, 10 years from now, I don't think. The skilled labor industry will always exist,
10
in my
months
opinion.
from now.
Don't you guys think? Your
Well,
electricians.
I think
your-
I'm just trying to tell you that isn't even safe. I just created a scenario for you.
Yeah.
Perhaps. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Are airplane pilots going to become passé?
Can I use the stand your ground rule when a robot
Can we shoot the robot?
comes onto my yard?
Make sure it's in your house.
Drag it in.
Yeah, drag it in.
But things like, farming, as much as computer has woven,
I'm gonna ask you to take a pause.
what do you mean?
I'm going to say that at the rate this is going, I don't see anything that this couldn't accomplish.
It's already taken over farming, Chris. The real farms, their grain cart drivers, all they do is pull up next to the combine as they're rolling. They let go of the wheel. The tractor talks to the combine.
You're kidding me.
The guy just sits there planting in the spring. They don't even have to touch the wheel. They just sit in the tractor as the computer does all the planting.
What does this do to medicine? What does this do to the law? What does this do to accounting? Which I alluded to earlier. How long are we away from walking down the street and you're not knowing whether the person approaching you is real?
You're right, and now we're already seeing how many downtowns
Maybe
that are
it's
empty.
an AI-generated lawyer on the way to a case.
Do you remember the movie with Yul Brynner? Westworld.
Yeah.
It's Westworld come to life.
Yeah. Well, I disagree. I don't like it.
RoboCop?
I don't. That's
A little different deal.
That's
Okay.
There's Eddie Murphy in that.
No.
Wasn't it Schwarzenegger?
No, that's Terminator.
Same.
But see, he became a good guy because he was reprogrammed.
I've got a lot to get to today,
Got a lot on my mind.
including that wonderful explanation from Jesse, which is a bit unnerving, isn't it? Huh?
Yeah.
Say the sale is on at EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake / Columbus, right on Highway 97, immediately west of the interstate. End of the season sale on e-bikes, scooters, motorcycles, electric bikes. They're the electric bike capital of the world. Electric bikes on sale starting at $9.99. Motorcycles and scooters at their lowest prices of the year. I know I've said this, but if there's any water equipment still left, and I have to tell you, I doubt that, but if there is, grab it.
Take
Because
advantage.
it's going to be on sale, and they're throwing in the free Triton trailer. Side-by-sides, 4x4s, the plowing equipment is in stock, the youth recreational equipment, helmets, apparel, service, you name it. But right now, what a great time to lose yourself in that great store up in Forest Lake / Columbus. Highway 97, about 3 roundabouts west, easy roundabouts. 2, maybe you're only 2. I don't know, but it's a couple of roundabouts. I don't know. Just west of 35 and down in Burnsville on the service road of life near County Road 42. And a great, well, for me, a dangerous one because I end up getting stuff. EcoFunMotorsports.com.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
This is not AI.
Hello.
This is Dylan Height. Dylan lives in Andover. Scott also lives in Andover. He writes me via email. Hey there, traffic dummy. Tried to start my snowblower this year before the flakes fly. No go. forgot to empty the gas tank before storage last season. Had some gas additive from a neighbor that actually worked in the past, but not this time. Went to my local car parts shop, found some Seafoam, just a little in the tank. Boom! She fired right up. As you say, in a world of bad gas, thanks Seafoam. That's from Scott in Andover. I'm telling you, it works all the time, every time. Wake them up, put them to bed, give them a heavy pour now and again. It's the best thing you can do for your fossil, now I thought I could say this, fossil fuel-fired cylinders. There, got it
Phosphate.
out. Yeah. Gas or diesel, doesn't matter. Day or night, year-round, find it everywhere. Look for the red and white cans on a shelf near you. It truly is a wonderful product in a world of bad gas. It is our best friend, Seafoam.
I have some follow-ups for you. Yesterday at the beginning of the show, I had a brief objection to the behavior of a Texas state trooper
Oh, yeah.
who shouldered a University of South Carolina player after that player scoring a touchdown ran into the tunnel. A few players followed him. Then they returned, and the troopers swaggered into the scene. And I thought it was terribly Bush League. And I'm only reading this because it's from Katie Tierney, who claims I don't know her. No, I do know her.
know
now.
Katie.
Yeah. Hail the Flashlight King.
Hail you.
Joe, I've got to set the record straight on that Texas DPS officer who gave the South Carolina players the business at Kyle Field on Saturday. Everyone's melting down, but they're missing the most important part. That South Carolina player didn't just celebrate. He sprinted straight into a tunnel that is 100% off limits. The tunnel where Texas A&M stores the ammunition for the Spirit of '02, our 1902 Army field gun that we fire whenever the Aggies score. The tunnel is not a sightseeing attraction. It's not a place to go make TikToks after you get lucky and score a touchdown. It is literally where the live artillery rounds live. Now, was the trooper too aggressive? Sure. Nobody's defending the technique. But the man wasn't out there hunting gamecocks like Royce hunting for a hot take. He was reacting to someone barging into a restricted, dangerous area of a 102,000-seat stadium. The disrespect and the danger are both real. So, yes, the trooper should have handled it differently, but the idea that he just woke up Saturday thinking, you know what, I'm going to go push around some South Carolina players. Come on, even Royce couldn't spin that far without losing his hat. And speaking of Royce, at the state fair, when the handsome husband and I were hanging out at the show, he sauntered over, looked at my Texas A&M gear, and chuckled when I asked if the Aggies could make a run this year. He practically patted me on the head. Well, here we are, arguably the very best team in college football when you take into account the strength of their schedule. And I'd love to hear whether he'd like to revise that prediction or if he's too busy rooting for chaos to admit the Aggies might actually be for real. Always pushing back from East Union, Minnesota, Katie Tierney, the forgotten GLer and proud member of the Fighting Texas Aggie class of '94. Ooh. Okay, that's where the live ammo is. Katie, do you really think the South Carolina knew that and he was going to return with a stick of dynamite? I respect your response, Katie. I think the trooper was a
jerk.
Was a jerk.
I have a question, but that South Carolina, let's say all of that's true. There's no way the South...
I don't doubt Katie.
No, I don't either, but what I'm saying is there's no way there wasn't a locked door in between where that tunnel is and where the ammunition is.
And does that mean that every time the Aggies score, they got to run up that title and get some gunpowder? I guess. I have no idea. That's okay. That's
would have
okay.
been fun if the trooper would have tried to arrest him.
Hail the Flashlight King.
Hail you.
Again?
We now return to the case of the 48-hour rule, the cold case.
Oh.
In regards to the GLer with the three-wheeler ruling, I believe I might have a theory that could be helpful. The couple in question presented their case at the state fair, and the missus is a looker. Joe was defenseless in the presence of a pretty woman and simply did what we all do. He caved and threw the husband under the bus. Ooh. I don't know. Good luck, John Lay, St. Michael, Minnesota. No, that's not the case. For now, here is the follow-up from the author seeking to get his original 48-hour rule appealed. Joe, Glenn here again with a follow-up. First and foremost, thank you for overturning your initial ruling. All I can say is I am free, God in heaven, I am free. Second, I don't want you to feel bad about caving initially. Although she never did become a lawyer, she certainly could have. In high school, she aced the LSAT, and she did go to Northwestern pre-law. Trust me, she is brilliant and can definitely win an argument. Yesterday, I listened to the podcast at work, so I knew the outcome. Fully anticipated the full-on burner look from her, and knowing that she is not a regular listener, when I got home, I queued up the show on my phone, hit play, handed it to her, and ran like hell. No, I must say, growing up with the alligator mouth and hummingbird butt, you have to learn to fight or run. I can run like the wind blows. So by the time she got to your final ruling, I was miles away. I knew she got to your final ruling because, well, imagine the 1950s nuclear weapons testing in the desert. I was relatively safe, escaping with only first and second degree burns on the exposed areas of my neck. And next week I go to the dermatologist to get the cancer removed from the tips of my ears. When the blinding light became a soft, dull glow on the horizon, I figured it was safe to start heading home, but I digress. I would like to clarify a few of your questions. It was the missus who called you for a ruling. All we could agree on was that it was around Christmas or maybe shortly after MEA weekend. I faithfully, so the fair has nothing to do with this.
Nothing.
Somehow the idea came up that they might have been at the fair. That's not the case. I faithfully acknowledge that the spirit of the 48-hour rule is that A, she has to be home during the initial 48 hours, and B, that the item be where it would normally be. Let me address these individually. I did not start the 48-hour clock until she got home, and it was still 2 weeks after the clock started before she made the discovery. The wheeler was parked in the cylinder shed, which she had to regularly pass by to get to the barn where her horse was. Additionally, the garage-type door on the cylinder shed was frequently open, and the wheeler was parked right there. I have to say that when you took my wife's call, you not only agreed with her, but you accused me of deceit. In light of your granting my appeal and overturning your ruling, I am finally willing to let it go and think of all the money I'll save not having to go to therapy anymore. Thanks again and good luck, Glenn, the Garage Logic power and light stationary engineer and part-time propulsion engineer aboard the Spoon Lake Ferry. P.S. If you're serious about finding the recording of my wife's call, I'm not even sure about the year. It would have been the MEA Christmas time frame and could have been 98 or 99.
Brooke, good luck.
I don't think that's gonna take more time than you have.
Yeah, 99 they say?
Yeah.
Well, and to further complicate matters, that would all be available on mini disc. And the last time our engineering staff checked, there isn't a working mini disc player in the country.
Okay.
One
Would that have been on a
question,
CD? I wonder.
Joe,
No, that would have been
there's one thing that hasn't been answered. Mm-hmm. What kind of three-wheeler was it?
Yeah, we didn't
Was
know
it a
that.
Honda or was it a Yamaha?
You know, for the sake of the game, I'm going to take the dates.
Well, I just can't believe that. I told you yesterday I felt shame.
When did we outlaw those, by the way? The three-wheeler.
Before that, yeah.
I don't even know what they are.
Do you remember
An off-road deal that's three wheels?
Yeah.
You remember what was the James Bond movie where they were in Vegas?
Oh, not Goldfinger.
They were out
I know
in
which
the-
one you mean. They had those little Honda three-wheelers.
Yeah, they were out in the desert with those little Honda three-wheelers. Well, they evolved and got a lot better. And Yamaha, I actually had one as a kid, made a 225
Diamonds are forever.
shaft.
Diamonds are forever, yeah.
Yamaha made a 225 shaft drive, and I mastered a wheelie on that thing. I could drive that thing all over town, including around corners doing a wheelie.
I don't even know what a Yamaha is, so I would imagine you mean a Yamaha.
You are very tiresome sometimes, my friend. Very.
Yams are what you serve with turkey and cranberries.
Can we say this also?
You had to lean the opposite way when you went into a corner, instead of like if you're turning right, instead of leaning right, you had to lean left and have your arms over to the right.
Well, you know what? Mr. U had one.
Yeah, they were
We
so
hauled
awkward.
one home. Oh, a little Honda red one, three-wheeler.
Little 90 or something.
The thing was worthless.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they were so fun.
Jill St. John was Tiffany Case, and Lana Wood was Plenty O'Toole.
Yes, she was.
Yes.
And Sean had a few smart words for her about what was your father's name or something like that.
Yeah.
Who played Plenty?
Plenty was Lana Wood.
Lana Wood. Is that Natalie? Any relation to Natalie Wood?
I'll find out for you.
Because Lana was very attractive.
Natalie would have been alive at that point.
Yeah.
though.
Plenty O'Toole. Hi, I'm Plenty, James Bond. Well, of course you are. Plenty O'Toole, named after your father, Pops. That's the line you're looking for.
Mr. Connery, it's your turn.
I'll take movies for 400.
The answer is John Travolta learned how to dance for this 1977 hit movie. Mr. Connery.
That would be Jaws.
No.
Jaws.
That's pretty funny. I don't know what.
Don't you remember when John Travolta was in Jaws? You guys missed that part?
Plenty enters the hotel room. Well, if you'd like to come in, Plenty. Plenty O'Toole. Oh, how pretty. You have a super place. She kisses him, unzips her purple satin dress, falls from her. She's got nothing. Plenty O'Toole holding up a finger. Just give me 1 second, lover. She walks into the bedroom. Bond turns on a lamp and finds a goon pointing a gun at him. Good evening. James Bond. Well, I'm afraid you've caught me with more than my hands up.
Boom.
Clever writing. That's good.
That's
James
soft core.
Yeah.
We're going to say hello right now to Seth Beckman, Chelsea.
Hi,
and
Seth.
Seth Beckman from Le Sueur. He's been having some medical issues, and we should note that he is going to get repaired.
Okay.
So
Good luck, Seth.
we don't normally do that. But hi, Seth.
Le Sueur has come up a lot recently.
Well, I can tell you where, Chris.
Well, I know exactly where it is. It's just south of me.
No, I can tell you where it's come up
Oh, gotcha.
this day in history.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
That's where it is. Boy, Willie, here today, we're just sailing out in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Still sending out emails.
Oh, that's why we do them.
Yep.
Say, if you're planning on starting a new business, planning to expand your business, or move completely, you might want to consider Sioux Falls, South Dakota, for a variety of reasons, including the business-friendly tax environment with no personal or corporate state income taxes. Sioux Falls is growing, has a large, well-educated workforce, cost of living is low, centrally located, developed industrial parks, and a low cost of doing business. Voted the #1 best small city for business and careers by Forbes magazine. And the banks in Sioux Falls have a few bucks on hand. You know what? I bet you can get a business loan. $3.5 trillion. They're first in the nation for total bank assets. South Dakota, man, there's no state, corporate, or personal income tax, no inheritance tax, and no limits to what your business can achieve. Find out everything you need at SiouxFallsDevelopment.com. Let's do it.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Hofferman Water and Connecticut. You know what? I love this story. You know what, Anakana, you want to know why?
Why?
When the technician came out to my place on Monday, he said, wait a minute, you're the guy on GL. And I said, I am. He says, oh yeah, didn't you start out as a customer? I said, I did. And that's how this relationship started years ago, Joe. And here's the thing. It's going to make an amazing difference in the quality of your water. It has done that for me. It will do that for you. In 2 different homes, I've had the Connecticut water treatment system installed. And currently, I have that and the whole home drinking water system. It's phenomenal. We barely ever buy bottled water anymore unless we're on the road somewhere. But it's amazing. We use it every single day. And you know what? I think if you make the switch, you'll be very happy with that decision as well. But you have to get on the schedule first. You have them come out for that free water analysis. And when they come out to your house for that free water analysis, they give you this thing that's called a water score. And then based upon that water score, they're going to give you recommendations on how they can upgrade the quality of your water. So get on the schedule today, 612-895-2440, or you can book your appointment online at HoffermanWater.com. And as long as you're on that website, you can see every single different water treatment system that they have to offer. 612-895-2440, or visit HoffermanWater.com. And that's because Hofferman Water has been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
I have 2 political observations that could lead to deep thinking. This is from the Minneapolis Times. In a video posted to her Facebook page, Minneapolis City Council person Robin Wansley said she will bring forth a proposal in January to form an official Democratic Socialist caucus.
Oh, boy.
That will focus, among other things, on a $28 an hour minimum wage, rent control, and city-owned grocery stores. I think that there might be enough bodies there now to overcome her. I don't know. But I submit to you that in typical progressive fashion, as it is brought to you by someone who has never done anything except be a professional activist, this is what you're going to get. And it has nothing to do with running a city. Now let's turn to Seattle, where we all know a progressive, Mysterian, socialist mayor has been elected.
Can you ask a quick question before you go to her about
Sure,
Robin?
Sure.
How is it that we have so many different examples of how this didn't work? Kansas City, we tried it, I believe we tried it in Seattle, where we're about to head to now. And yet these people either didn't see that happen, or they say, well, it can work this time.
That's been the story of socialism all along.
Yeah.
For hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Because each time it's tried again, it's tried by people who think they've got it figured out.
Yeah, it'll be different this time.
Got it.
This is from a brief editorial in today's Wall Street Journal. Truly, truly wonderful here. In case you think Democratic progressives have shed their identity politics obsessions, let's check in with Katie Wilson, mayor-elect of the woke Republic of Seattle. She is pitching her plans for city government appointments this way. I will appoint a cabinet of exceptional leaders whose lived experiences reflect the diversity of Seattle's Black, Indigenous, Asian and Pacific Islander, Latinx, Hispanic, and people of color communities, as well as that of women, immigrants and refugees, 2S LGBTQIA plus communities, people with disabilities, people of all faith traditions, and residents from every socioeconomic background. Now, that is some coalition. But what's a 2SLBGTQIA plus community? We looked it up, said the Wall Street Journal. It's apparently an acronym for two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning, intersex, asexual, and the plus covering anybody who feels left out. With all of these groups to satisfy, we're not sure there are enough jobs to go around, but may the two-spirit be with the mayor. Here's my observation. I don't think it's that novel, and it's not even that difficult to arrive at. The only interest Katie Wilson has in hiring people is to hire people to cover all political identity bases. There will be no effort. Now, fine, if you want to hire all these people, fine with me. But she will make no effort to determine if they have any skills.
Right.
They are solely judged by their political identity. So if you want to go hire a refugee who happens to be one hell of an electrical engineer and he wants to work for the Public Works Department, that's great to me. If you want to hire somebody from the LGBTQIA, what's the I? What's the I? Intersex?
Indifferent? I don't know. I'll look.
Intersex. If you want to hire somebody who identifies as A for an accounting job, is that the best accountant you can find for the job? That kind of thinking is gone from this country where the Mysterians rule. This is not what they're interested in.
The best electrician, doctor, etc.
They're not interested in the best. They're interested in their political ideas under the belief, falsely held, that these are people who have been oppressed. So the only reason Katie Wilson intends to be or wishes to be mayor of Seattle, she's never done anything, by the way, and she got elected. The only reason she wants to be a mayor is to settle scores with all the people she imagines to have been victimized or oppressed by the conventional way America operates. They have no interest. They have no interest in running a city for the vast majority of the taxpaying citizens of Seattle. Zero interest in that. That's not why they're there.
And remember,
and it's the same with Robin Wansley and the Democratic Socialists in Minneapolis and St. Paul. They have no interest in your life. That's not why they're there.
because keep in mind, she also was one that wanted the city-run grocery store. Because remember her campaign, that I played, the Food for All initiative that she had. They all have the same talking points.
You're going, well, why even waste time on this woman? She doesn't hear us, and that's fine. But you could have dragged a net across the country, and you could not have ensnared a worse person to become mayor of Seattle.
We've got a few Seattle GLers listening to us right now. It'd be fun to hear from them on what they have to say.
Because what she has, first of all, she has nothing in mind that would affect running a city, and I imagine a city like Seattle. If Minneapolis has $1 billion budget, I would imagine Seattle's is probably a bit larger.
Probably.
And she's going to have no one on her staff that's ever hired, fired, handled people, handled money, none of this. They're all going to fill a role in her political theater of victimization. That's all that she's doing.
Wow.
She stepped in at the last minute, about 9 months before the election. She does have a history there. She co-founded the Seattle Transit Riders Union, a nonprofit.
Oh, my God.
Right. All she did is bitch about transportation.
Right. And then she played a role in the creation of their Jumpstart tax, which evidently is a payroll tax on private employers to fund affordable housing.
Mm-hmm. There being no expectation of any of the political identities she identified to do their own housing.
Right. It sounds like the mayor, Bruce Harrell, the guy she beat, was kind of wishy-washy, and you couldn't really nail him down.
Wasn't left enough.
Wasn't left enough, wasn't right enough, just, kind of waffling.
But there's your... There's your city closest to. There's your country. There it is. There's a lot of tall buildings.
It could be worse.
I don't know how.
Oh, since we're kind of
It could have been worse if Omar Fateh got elected.
Well, Joe, that's kind of where I was going.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead, Ken.
She's married to fellow activist Scott Myers. They rent a 1-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill and have one daughter. She's
And they
not even an owner.
No, and they get money for child care from her parents.
Yep.
I'm sure she'll come up with a program where the taxpayer should be providing her child care.
Daycare for all.
Yeah.
Since we're kind of in Mysterian Roundup,
Boy, I'll see.
let's head out east, shall we?
Where are we going?
Fire up the, what do we got, the G6?
The GL jet.
The
Yeah.
GL6?
Yeah.
The G6?
We're
No,
gonna
we
go.
got a passenger jet.
Let's
Big
go.
one. We got a big one.
We're gonna go to New York City.
Okay.
Your guy, Zoran Mamdani.
The Zorro.
He was on ABC7 in New York, and well, I'm just going to play this because he was asked about law in the city of New York.
You said you would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu based on the 2024 International Court arrest warrant. Next UN General Assembly, as mayor, would you do that?
So I've said time and again that I believe this is a city of international law, and being a city of international law means looking to uphold international law, and that means upholding the warrants from the International Criminal Court, whether they're for Benjamin Netanyahu or Vladimir Putin. I think that that's critically important to showcase our values, and unlike Donald Trump, I'm someone who looks to exist within the confines of the laws that we have. So I will look to exhaust every legal possibility, not to create my own laws to do so.
On the other hand, this is also a world event. Does that not count a little bit?
Well, I think we are a global city, but I also think what New Yorkers are looking for is consistency in the way in which we talk about our values and follow through on them. And that's why I think these warrants from the International Criminal Court, they are worth fully exploring every legal possibility to actually follow through on.
I wonder what his values are.
We are a city of international law.
Well,
What do you mean, Joe?
well, he said we're doing this because it reflects our values. What are his values? His values are very pro-Hamas, for example. That's among his values.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
A lot of Jews in New York.
Many of whom voted for
Yes.
this fruitcake.
Non-believers.
Yeah. It's just
I'd be. And here's the thing. I guess the reason I played that, I would be far more terrified if I was a tax-paying resident of New York City than I would be if I lived in Seattle. Now, I wouldn't live in either one of those cities, but they're both frightening. Both
Seattle,
of these.
I think it rains too much.
Yeah, it does.
I don't
I like something a little more upbeat.
Yeah.
I think this is far more dark. What's going on in New York
I
City?
do too. I think it's sad. I think it's very sad.
1.3 million Jews in New York. Second largest metropolitan Jewish community, second only to Tel Aviv.
And he's an anti-Semite.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, good pairing.
It's sad that one of the world's greatest cities has.
Let's hope your prediction is right, though. Let's just hope it's too big to fail.
Well, I think there's going to be so much resistance. That's why I'm not too worried about Wansley. I'm not too worried about Seattle crazy Katie. Is it Katie?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not too worried about this guy in New York. I mean, the odds are stacked against him. Very stacked.
I just finished a series, Netflix series, called The Beast in Me.
You were telling Patrick about this yesterday.
It's pretty good. In fact, it's very good. It's Claire Danes and somebody named Rhys, R-H-Y-S, a British actor. He's very good. But there is a character in there that is clearly patterned after Occasional Cortex.
Okay.
What's her name?
Alexandria.
Alexandria Cortez. And she is in opposition to a building project that the principals in the show are trying to build. They're evil bastards. Not because they want to build a building, for completely different reasons. And they captured that supposed Occasional Cortex character very well, and she is in opposition to a building project, And it's not done as a cliche. They pull it off very well. And they end up doing a deal with her, much to her objection, but she finally gives in and does this deal. And the only thing I could think of as I watched it was, what the hell are they going to do with Mom Donnie?
Oh.
I mean, the people trying to build in New York, I can't imagine the hurdles they'll have to go through. Or worse, will they just abandon any plans to build in New York? It might not be worth it to go through the BS. Speaking of the BS, it's 70% of the people in Pacific Palisades have yet to be able to start rebuilding a house. 70%. Adam Carolla predicted that on the day of the fire.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, you'll never get a permit.
He was just on Rogan talking about that very thing, too.
70% of the people whose houses disappeared, it's getting to be a year ago now, nothing's happened.
Nothing.
This beast in me is Claire's character, Aggie Wiggs.
Yes.
Is she troubled?
Yes.
Or is she normal?
Well,
because Claire always plays somebody very, very deeply troubled.
Well, she's by the way the cast is laid out, she's the least troubled.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's new.
But
for
she's
her.
very troubled.
Yeah. She's a great actor.
You haven't started that yet. I don't think we have.
I recommended that to you.
I know you did.
It's horribly violent. And I made a call on episode 1 that came true in the final episode. I'm very proud of it. I can't say it because it would ruin the show for you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, don't. Please don't. You almost did the other with
I know,
All Her Fault.
I know.
When you said the alien came out and ate all the people.
I always go to Wikipedia and look up.
You better not look at the plot and look at the last paragraph.
I do, because I want to know how it
They all
ends.
went on their way after the big earthquake.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the CP reads the endings of books. I couldn't.
I
No,
do that
what's
every
the
once
point
in a
of reading it then?
Well, okay, you get 2 chapters in and you think you've got it figured out. So I just go to the last chapter and confirm that this writer is, in fact, a hack and I had it figured out.
Yeah.
I did that with 50 Shades of Grey.
Which is the one and only book you've ever read.
I read all 3 of them.
That book is unreadable.
My favorite part about
What did I call it? The Chase?
The
When you were like,
Chase.
what are you? Oh, I'm reading The Chase, Gabe.
My favorite
Go
part
back
is when
and
you would
play the
hide that
sandbox.
book inside a much larger book.
Yeah, so I'm sitting
Yeah.
in the backyard and he's coming out to play toys in the sandbox.
The larger book is upside down.
Yes.
Yes. Dad, you can read upside down?
It's a gift,
When
son.
I'm this drunk, yes.
Right now, voting is underway for the Center of the American Experiment's 2025 Golden Turkey
You want me to go
Awards.
get it?
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
Just
okay. No one tell me twice.
right. And we got some gobble-worthy nominations.
Yes, sir.
You can vote right now on the finalists. Wall's racking up $430,000 legal bill. That's when he prepped for a congressional hearing. Here it comes. You hear the music? Here comes the trophy that's at stake from the American experiment. Look at that baby. Yeah, you get it in there. Yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Doesn't the chicken flap too?
The Gold Line Bus Project is a candidate. That was only $500 million of wasted money. The $1 million bathrooms in Bloomington, where they took $1 million in COVID relief funds. River surfing on the Rum River, $6.2 million diverted from roads and bridges and important things. The voting is okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Can you shut that off? Here, one of the $100 bills fell off.
I'm gonna need all that.
Here, here's another $100.
I need to liquidate my...
Decide which project deserves the 2025 Golden Turkey Award. Visit AmericanExperiment.org to cast your vote.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss and awaken180weightloss.com. You know what? What am I, 3 weeks now into the restart of my program? Oh boy. Down 11.5 pounds already, Joe, and I can't wait to weigh in again at the end of this week with Emma. She is my personalized coach. Here's what's different about this weight loss program, too, by the way. You eat to lose weight. You go on their website. You can see all of the different items that you get to select from. You're on kind of a clock, so every couple of hours, you just have to eat another product, and it's fantastic. There's no medications. There's no working out. Of course, they encourage that if you'd like to do that anyway. There's also no gimmick. You eat. You listen to your coach. You make some small adjustments along the way, and most guys are going to lose between 4 to 5 pounds each and every single week. And the other thing is, you feel better. Your energy level is up, and it's all of those different reasons why you're going to want to lose weight and get involved with this program. It's fantastic. I have really, really enjoyed it, and I think that you will too. So go online to awaken180weightloss.com. That's 180, by the way. You can also call them for that free consultation at 844-346-1800. It's a program that's worked for thousands of people, and it will work for you. You still get to go out. You can still tailgate. You can still have drinks. You just make those small adjustments along the way. Awaken180weightloss.com. And please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Whether you're a Euphorian or a GLer, and no matter where you live in this state, your property taxes are going to go up.
Yep.
At the risk of extraordinary dryness, because on account of you want to know why?
Why?
Yes, please.
And this is a dry topic, but it's going to hit you all, no matter if you're a prematurely gray-haired 42-year-old woman who lives by Lake of the Isles and votes for socialists. Your property taxes are going up. And this is from John Phelan at the American Experiment.
Oh, yeah.
Previously, the federal government covered the cost of benefits paid out under the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Under the One Big Beautiful Bill signed into law in July, state governments would be required to cover 15% of that. The bill also cut the federal reimbursement that states receive to administer the program from 50% to 25%. Mm-hmm. Minnesota is particularly vulnerable to big bill provisions. We are one of less than 10 states where counties administer Medicaid and SNAP. The Big Beautiful Bill added a work requirement for Medicaid, which workers will have to verify, and counties will also have to review eligibility twice a year instead of once. That's pretty simple math. Julie Ring, the executive director of the Association of Minnesota Counties, told KSTP in July. That's double the workload. Writing for the Minnesota Reformer, Chuck Johnson notes that the Minnesota Department of this will blow your mind. The Minnesota Department of Human Services is estimating that administering the new Medicaid work requirements will cost the state, county, and tribes $165 million annually.
What?
The new Medicaid eligibility checks will cost another $5 million. The Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families and Happy Thoughts, I'm adding Happy Thoughts, estimates that the state and counties will lose $39 million a year in SNAP federal administrative funding, and increased workloads will push that number higher.
Good Lord.
Are you dried out yet, or you want me to keep going?
You got to keep going.
There are measures besides tax hikes which can be taken to mitigate this. Ideally, we would deal with a doubling of the workload by increasing the amount of work done with a given set of resources. There are ways to do this. First, we can look to improve labor productivity of welfare workers. Minnesota's welfare is administered using very old computer systems. SSIS, which stands for Social Service Information System, has been employed in case management more than 26 years Jill Barkham reported for the Star Tribune in September. This really is difficult to read. Maxis, an eligibility and public benefit system, clocks in at 36 years. The result is unsurprising. Staffers who are there to help Minnesotans instead spend their days battling systemic slowness, endless workarounds, the need to enter duplicate information, or the inability to add personal information that could change benefit eligibility, such as a family adding another child. All right. This must be Phelan. I asked Dakota County officials for a rough estimate of inefficiencies costs. They said it's not possible to measure them all, but they gave me 4 examples of inefficiencies occurring in programs using these old systems and put the cost at $1.6 million a year. Modernizing these systems would require investment, but in the genuine sense of the word, not as a disguise for spending. A Minnesotan would be forgiven for shuddering at the prospect of another vast government IT project, but to shy away from that in this instance might be a case of being penny wise and a pound foolish. Second, Minnesota could reap economies of scale by centralizing the administration of wealth from the state. At a recent conference hosted by the Minnesota Center for Fiscal Excellence, Evan Ramstad reports for the Star Tribune. Former Minnesota Revenue Commissioner John James asked the panel whether counties might turn some costly human services work over to the state, an efficiency idea that has been batted around for decades but has been mostly dormant since the early 2010s. Short answer, yes, said Matt Hilgard, Government Relations Chief for the Association of Minnesota Counties. Specifically, he said leaders in the state's 87 counties have warmed up to letting the state take on the work of vetting the eligibility of Minnesotans for public assistance, health care, and cash and food support. In an interview later, Hilgard said, "That is the sentiment that I'm feeling from our membership, and it is a change." All right. Economies of scale arise in a situation when, as one of my old textbook puts it, long-run average total costs decrease as output increases. In this case, fixed costs, like office space, are spread out over more clients, and the governments can negotiate better prices for bulk purchases, like computer systems. All right, may I take my shot at interpreting this? The cost of taking care of people who need taking care of is beyond our comprehension.
Okay.
The cost of just administering this program. Let me go back to the Minnesota Department of Human Services is estimating that administering the new Medicaid work requirements, this is the new requirement for the great big beautiful bill that says, look, if you're going to get some Medicaid benefits, you got to prove to us you're working, all right? The Minnesota Department of Human Services estimates that administrating the new Medicaid work requirements, for them to go and verify that John Smith actually showing up at this place, will cost the state and county and tribes $165 million annually. The new Medicaid... And then this piece goes on to say that what might mitigate some of those costs is more up-to-date computer systems.
AI.
So not only are you facing, but he said it's penny wise or penny pound.
Yeah.
Penny.
You won't get fooled again.
Penny a pound.
Penny a
dollar
penny
in,
for your thoughts.
$2 out.
What are we going to do without pennies if there's no pennies? How do you say
round up or round down?
Give me the nickel, baby. Give me the nickel.
Well, if you pay in cash, you'll round up or round down.
I am trying to complete the thought. That $165 million a year is to employ all the people state and counties employ, to see that John Doe is actually showing up at the hardware store for his afternoon shift. Therefore, we can now determine he's eligible for Medicaid payments. And it's costing us $165 million a year to enforce this new requirement of the great big beautiful bill. And what Phelan, if I'm not mistaken, what Phelan is suggesting is that we can mitigate some of that $165 million a year if we had more up-to-date computer programming.
Technology and stuff.
Yeah. So not only will we be on the hook for the $165 million, we'll be on the hook for the $165 million till we're off the hook for whatever we spend for the new technology, at which point we can only hope for the best, and that the $165 million is reduced to $120 million or whatever. I don't know what that means for all those employees who might then not be needed if you improve the technology to a certain degree. So all we can determine is that as the decades have played out in this great land of ours,
Once great.
and in this once great state of ours, that the government is huge. The cost to administer government is astronomical. The cost to the taxpayers is astronomical. And it's one reason, getting back to the original point, it's one reason all of us will experience property tax increases, because they ain't got enough dough to pay for this stuff. So I don't know how we wave a magic wand and start over, but we need to. Would you like to take a time out?
We can't. I mean, you can't just say that.
I know.
It'll never happen.
I know.
And
you also made a statement just a few minutes ago about paying it off or until it's over. It'll never be over.
Nope.
It only gets bigger every year.
And the nice thing to know, guys, is at least I know that there's probably, everyone in this state is all on the up and up. No one wants to pull any strings.
I think so.
There's just, there's a select few people that are ready to pounce on this with fraud. They're just waiting till that clock turns midnight, and they're going to pounce all over this.
This program compels verification of your employment.
The property tax increases that you're seeing in 2025 are going to be nothing compared to what you're going to see in 2030. Seriously, we're going to look back 5 years and go, oh, weren't we innocent and dumb?
Well, these selfish people with the trifecta, very selfish people, took $18 billion of our money to expand the government. And now that's $18 billion that has to come on top of the budget every 2 years. So the $18 billion becomes $36 billion and on and on and on.
All aspects of health care are broken, Joe, from the top to the bottom.
Yep.
From care after surgery to elderly care. Everything about health care is broken.
Who has something left that you'd like to do?
Rookie.
Then why don't you take a time out?
Rookie, would you be so kind as to let us know about the fine folks at Ray and Welter and Ray and Welter Heating?
I can do that right now. Would you like me to do that?
Yes, please. Is that okay?
Because they are right on top of it, and that's how easy it is to get in touch with Welter. No, not on a podcast. You have to call them, 612-825-6867, but during business hours, you'll get a live human that will take that phone message and pass that along to one of the certified techs so they can get out immediately. You get put on their schedule, and if that heating unit is making funny noises or if you're putting the air conditioner to bed, it's still not too late. Don't put the cover on there and think everything's going to be fine. They can still come out and service that, or just put it to bed for the winter, and then maybe you can deal with it next spring. But don't delay. Heating units, they've got 24-hour emergency service. I hope you never have to use it, but if you do, remember welterheating.com. How will they take care of you? Well, they'll take care of you like every garage logician out there. They've got 4 generations, 120 years, and they're full of common sense. That's why they advertise on the Garage Logic podcast. They serve the metro area, and they are a wonderful family that is full of common sense. So you can get other estimates. I've worked with the Welter people. They've done things in my home, replacement stuff, all sorts of great stuff, and they were on time. The price was right, and I would recommend them to anyone that has any heating, cooling, or air purification questions. Go to welterheating.com, click on the blog. You might get an answer to a question for free. But just remember, if you need heating or cooling unit work, Welter Heating. Remember to heat up your shelter this winter with the fine folks from Ray N. Welter.
end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Soucheray.
Hey, how about We Are Nuts and WeAreNutsMN.com? Small batches made right here in the great state of Minnesota, a family-owned operation. And I mentioned this last week, but yes, we do have breaking news. You can now find We Are Nuts at all of your Cub Foods locations and select Quick Trip locations. That's right, it's the family-owned, Minnesota-made, and absolutely are obsessed with roasting small batch nuts to perfection and inventing wild and absolutely unforgettable flavors. Each location's a little different, though, so you've got to go into your local, and by the way, still available at all Kowalski's, Lunds and Byerly's, and also your Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores locations. And you can still try to get those specialty gift tins, but I do believe you missed the deadline. But it's still worth making a call and asking for them if you want to still give out those gifts for the holiday season. They're a wonderful family-owned operation, and you know what? They make an amazing product. Joe wolfed down his cashews in about a day and a half.
Yeah.
But you can see all of their selection online at WeAreNutsMN.com. I'm due for a run here, by the way. I got to get some more cinnamon toffee peanuts for the boys and also some cashews for myself. Once again, WeAreNutsMN.com. Thank you for your support of the Garage Logic podcast.
I keep trying to sell you guys on the fact that the Earth is being approached by an unidentified object.
You were talking about that prior to the show, trying to scare the hell out of me.
And that a Harvard professor named, what the hell is his name? Avi Loeb. Harvard. It's not a podcast guy. He's a Harvard guy. He said this thing has 12 anomalies which distinguish it from being a comet. And he claims these anomalies highlight for him his theory that this is an alien spaceship. And,
right on.
And I'm going to tell you what these anomalies are. His name is Avi Loeb. And he thinks it could be an alien mothership.
There it is.
That's what I'm talking about. And that's why we, according to him, should be worried about this thing supposedly hurtling towards us. And here's the list he comes up with. It has a retrograde trajectory, which is aligned to within 5 degrees with the ecliptic plane of planets around the sun. You know what that means.
It's
no idea.
I don't know either.
Zipping around out there.
The object displayed a sunward jet during the summer, which is unlike comets. The object nucleus is around 1 million times larger than Oumuamua, the first recorded interstellar object that passed through space.
Okay, that's the one that we talked to Avi about on Krabby Coffee Shop. I've interviewed this guy.
You have, and you know that he's real. This is
as far
a
as
real
I
guy.
remember, yeah. You know, memory sketchy.
Is that the belly button guy?
Is this where you had that guy on that was snipping
nipples?
No, the bucket of nipples guy, that was a different guy.
Okay.
The first recorded interstellar object to pass through, it also moves faster than it. And its arrival time was fine-tuned to bring it within tens of millions of kilometers from Mars, Venus, and Jupiter. Okay, that's important, apparently. According to Loeb, its gas plume contains much more nickel than iron that is found in industrially produced nickel alloys. The object's gas plume contains only 4% water by mass, despite water being a primary constituent of comets. 31/Atlas, that's what it's called, displays extreme negative polarization, which is something not seen for all comets.
Okay.
All right.
Extreme.
The object arrived from a direct coincidence with the radio wave WOW signal to within 9 degrees. No idea what that means.
No.
It also brightened faster than any known comet and was bluer than the sun. Loeb also explained that the 31/Atlas exhibits sunward and anti-solar jets which require an unreasonably large surface area in order to absorb enough sunlight needed to sublimate enough ice to feed the mass flux of these jets. You got that?
No.
I'm going to have a little quiz after this.
I was even writing it down. And
little
I can't
quiz
follow.
after this.
Yeah, okay.
Is that 12 yet? Let's see. Oh, this is one I can understand. This thing displays non-gravitational acceleration.
Non-gravitational acceleration.
Thank you. And doesn't break up like comets do when they travel through space. So this thing's hanging together.
All right.
Its jets maintain orientation across 1 million kilometers in multiple directions, despite the fact that it is rotating. Loeb concluded by presenting a theory for extraterrestrial life to be behind the steering wheel of 31 Atlas. He argued, the truth is that the mainstream of science is routinely wrong. Boy, remember that when it comes to this climate change
The mainstream
BS.
of science is routinely wrong.
Thank you.
Okay.
I
didn't hear that before.
It makes most sense to hedge our bets and invest billions of dollars in the simultaneous search for both technology and primitive life forms. I don't know what that means either. Anyway, I got you, Avi.
it.
I'm on your team. I think this is something we got to worry about.
How does he know all these things?
He
That's what I
goes
want
to
to know.
Harvard.
Well,
The Harvard.
I mean,
No,
is
he's
that
a
all
Harvard
it,
guy. He knows.
is that all it takes to analyze the stream, the
That's it.
gases it's
That's
producing?
it. All you got to do is be at Harvard.
All right. Okay.
And then he's got her settled. He's got her settled down.
Wow.
Only because.
Evidently, this guy we talked to, not Avi, this other guy, gets abducted about once a year.
Really?
The nipple
And
guy?
Yeah, and every time he gets put back on Earth, his nipples are gone, and they grow back.
How do they grow back?
I don't know.
I wish I
The
could
guy
do
was.
that.
I'm gonna be honest. He was a little weird.
I
But
heard
at
he
one
was a
point,
lot weird.
At one point, he said on the craft, the operating room, there was an actual bucket full of nipples.
You know
Nipples
what-
of every
Like replacement ones or
size.
ones that they're just tossing them into?
I think they're ones that they had cut. They've been harvesting nipples.
Jeez.
Kenny,
Yeah, go
would
ahead.
it bother you if GL tries to get Avi Loeb on?
Joe. No, I think it would actually probably be better.
Gabe,
Yeah. Anything I can do, you can do
LOEB,
better.
AVI, Avi Loeb, Harvard. See if you can find that man. Because tell him the host of the show is, I'm on his team. I think we're about to get lectured by whoever these people are.
He's really cool. I remember him as being very neat and very accessible and not at all snotty or not talking down to us.
Because I'm betting on Gabe, I'm going to keep the sheet of the 12 anomalies.
Yeah, condescending. What is that? Condescending?
It's when you talk down to somebody.
That's when you talk
Right,
down to
right.
someone. Okay.
Well, all the way from, we are now with the traveling Lymans. We are cruising east. We're out in the Indian Ocean. Boy, oh boy. Windy day.
A lot of stuff out there.
Wait a minute. Aren't there pirates out there?
Well, not for this big ship. And it's the traveling Lymans at worldwidewaftage.com. And it's only because they come to us from a ship in the middle of the Indian Ocean. It was on this day.
Joe, today is November 18.
In 1938, the University of Minnesota's Green Hall was named in honor of Forester Samuel B. Green. See, that,
Green Hall? That's
on this day.
Joe, today is November 18th.
Oh, and how well I remember this. I remember this from last year on this day in history. On this day in 1985, the Liberian freighter Socrates ran aground on Minnesota Point in Duluth. Excursion buses carried tourists to view the stranded ship, which was later freed by tugs. I drove up to see it.
I do recall this. It was neat.
Such a neat sight.
Yeah.
On this day,
November 18.
in 1993, the Frederick R. Wiseman Art Museum at the University of Minnesota opened.
That's the silver one, right? Right just across the river?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I was at that opening.
Were you?
Yeah.
How did you get invited? Oh, yeah. Art and theater, Kenny, yes.
May I finish the item?
Please, we're waiting.
Sculptor and architect Frank O. Gehry won an award from Progressive Architecture magazine in 1991 for his design of the building. On this day in Minnesota sports disappointment history,
Joe, who did we lose to on November 18th?
there are no items posted for the second day in a row.
Huh.
For this
Is that
day.
a good sign?
We must have had a good run.
We
on
must have been in top form over the years in mid-November.
Yes.
We weren't losing as much as we usually do.
Joe, they had a Jackson Pollock there. The size of the wall in your living room. It
I
was
like
amazing.
Jackson Pollock.
I love Jackson Pollock.
Is he one that painted that guy sitting at the counter?
No, Jackson's the one that throws the paint at the canvas.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't.
Yeah, no, he's amazing.
It's not
hard if I can do it.
I mean, I can throw a can of paint on a canvas. You know. So that's therefore.
Yeah, but
that's
can you
not
do
our-
it? Can you do it drunk off your ass?
Not
Like
anymore.
Jackson?
How do you ring the doorbell?
with what?
Never mind.
Hello. I know.
Thank you.
Thank you, GLers.
Thank you.
Do us a favor. Hit the smash that like button. Hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. Because on that YouTube channel, you can watch the show each and every single day, starting right around noon. You can also see full segments. There's video shorts. There's behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube and search for us on all of your social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com. And once again, don't forget, if you have the means, to help us help the Patrick Schoonover Foundation for Give to the Max Day. Find out more also at garagelogic.com/donate.